And live from the Star in Frisco, Texas, it's game number 2 of the 2019 Texas Classic, part of the USA Football Middle School Bowl Series. Nick Laupius alongside Zach Wolchuk here. And Zach, we saw a great first game. The 6th graders put on a good show, 28-7. Now we have the 7th graders, and we talked to Pops a little bit in between games, and he said he expects probably the scoreboard lights are going to be out by the end of this game.
Absolutely. There's a ton of offensive talent across the board in this one. I think you've got excellent quarterback play, especially on the Freedom side. You got a pair of really good running backs on both squads, but you've got some defensive line depth, especially over on the Honor team. So all along the board, I think we could see a lot of scoring, a lot of great skill players in this one. But defensively, maybe a little bit edge towards this Freedom team. We'll see how this one unfolds, but it should be a fun one.
Yeah, we'll see. And again, these guys got together on Thursday, and we saw that was an advantage for the defenses. It seemed like the offenses had a lot of trouble really getting started. Are you expecting kind of the same thing for this game as well?
Yeah, I think so. I think that it'll probably be that way throughout the afternoon, not only for our 9 a.m. kickoff, which is how that one unfolded. I think this game here at noon, and then, of course, for our U15 game or U16 game as well, that comes up at 3 o'clock, which is the eldest that we'll have here playing today. I think always when you have these kind of games, they always will benefit the defense in this one. So I think by the second half, if not the second quarter at the earliest, you'll start to see the offenses get a little bit more rhythm. But certainly I think the defense will have the edge in the first 5 to 8 minutes or so in this one.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and we do have our third member of our crew, Eric Giafalo, is down on the field with an interview, but just real quick, we're going to pause for the playing of our national anthem. So we are about ready to start game number 2, and we've talked about really throughout all morning that this isn't just a camp. It's not something that happens every couple of months. It's an entire process, and the guy who's in charge of pretty much the entire process here at USA Football joins our very own Eric Giafalo down on the field, so we'll go ahead and toss it to you, Eric.
Captain's meeting, get a little handshake, get a coin flip. We'll see who gets the ball. Hopefully I'll get a chance to talk with the senior manager of the U.S. national team, Coach Aaron Ingram, or AI as everybody so fondly calls him, here in just a second. But man, the energy's great down here. The fellas, these guys are 8th grade. You'd think they were heading into college. A lot of beards. I think I even see a couple of tattoos. I mean, these guys are studs out here. The patriotism is real. We got gloves with the American flag, stars and stripes all over the place, sweatbands, arm sleeves. The coaches are fired up. Everybody's fired up. And the energy's great down here, fellas. We're looking for a good game. And from everything I hear, I know you guys are talking about the defenses and how they came out strong in that first game we just watched. Everything I'm hearing is the offenses for these two teams are absolutely prolific. It should be high-flying, high-octane, a lot of points. My guess is last team with the ball is the team that'll win the game. Lots of points to be expected, and again, athletes just galore all over the field. Offense and defense, I'm seeing purple hair. Just a lot of great energy, a lot of good vibes down here. Hopefully we'll get a chance to catch up with senior manager of the U.S. national team, Mr. Aaron Ingram, here in just 1 second. But yeah, everything's going fantastic right now, and the guys are fired up. And we're about to get a kickoff, gentlemen. And it looks like Aaron Ingram is in my sights. We've made eye contact, and he is smiling. He can't wait to tell you about this USA football program. And it looks like we got him just about right here. Here he is, Aaron Ingram, the senior manager of the U.S. national team. And Aaron, I wanted to ask you, for someone that's not familiar with your program, what's one thing you'd want them to know about it?
You know, probably there's an end point for us. You know, it's not just a one-time experience for anything. There's a big, long pathway where a lot of guys have played for us from 5th grade all the way through they graduate high school and even past that sometimes, going into college with the World Championships.
What about that pathway? I know it's not the easiest thing in the world to be one of these athletes on the field. You got to be star-studded on and off the field. What is it about that pathway and how you guys can get these guys to later success?
You know, this spring we had a little over 5,500 athletes come through the pipeline, along with just these middle school athletes. So to get here, it took a little bit of achievement on the field for them.
Absolutely. And what do you expect in this game right here? A lot of offense?
A lot of offense, man. It's the 10 show, I think. On the other side, Peyton, the quarterback from Louisiana, is going to sling it. 10, the receiver here, and Anthony's going to sling it. 20, he's going to absolutely pound the rock. It's going to be a fun game.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. These guys are beasts. They're chomping at the bit to get on the field. And that's Aaron Ingram, the senior manager of the U.S. national team. Aaron, thank you so much for joining us. And let's send it back up to the booth where Nick Laupius and Zach Walchuk are about to give you the call.
Thank you very much, Eric. As we are underway, and the first play is a big one, past the 40 all the way to midfield, one man to beat, and he will take it to the house.
Hey, how about that, huh?
My goodness.
They said expect offense, one play, that's all she wrote. Instant offense, Jaden Mathews, take it to the house, young man. The Arizona player, and this, we said in the open, there's a pair of stud backs in this one. One of them just happens to be right there, 26 in red, and he showed you why. Jaden Mathews with the speed to boot, an absolute superstar in the making. He's undoubtedly an impact player. Should see a lot of touches throughout the game today. Runs very hard. He's got that compact build that allows him to hide behind his blockers and explode for long gainers, and he did it there.
First play of the game, 75 yards. Jaden Mathews, Litchfield Park, Arizona's own, puts the first points up on the board. And now Freedom in the blue uniforms will come out already down 7. So it's complete opposite of what we saw in game number 1. Offense start very early on, and Coach AI right there, Coach Ingram, was saying he was expecting to see a lot of offense, and first play of the game, they're able to put it home. So now we have Freedom coming out, 1st and 10 on their own 25. It's going to be a handoff as they look to respond with their run game, picks up a few, but not much.
And you look over here, Emmanuel Favy is the running back for the Freedom squad from Fountain, Colorado, number 20 in blue. And we mentioned, hey, there's some stellar defensive line players in this one. We just saw it in our previous game with the U14 squad. Here today should be no different, but Favy, he's got those long, wavy locks.
2nd down and 9. They hand it off to him again. And tries to go forward, not able to get anything going. Maybe another yard there, bring up 3rd and long.
Excellent job coming up and sticking them there for Jojo Clark, the defensive back from Peoria, Arizona. You see him on your screen right there, trying to bump up the defense, but he comes up. Look, Favy's a big back. He's a load, and it's always exceptional when you get your corners, your safeties that can come up. They're not afraid to shy away from the contact, and right there, a nice job from Jojo Clark.
Wyatt Sprague, the quarterback for this Freedom team, steps back, has a man open, throws up behind him. It'll be 4th down.
Yeah, 3rd down, just trying to find your receiver over the middle. That was trying to find Jalen Smith from Virginia Beach. We had a couple of 8s on this Freedom squad. We've got Jalen Smith and Taylor Collins. Taylor Collins is a local kid from Southlake, Texas. So a quick 3 and out there for the Freedom team.
So Zachary Clark in to punt the ball. be fielded right at midfield, maybe at about the 49. So Honor with a defensive stop, and they look to put up another quick strike as we are now joined back by Eric Chiafalo down on the field, and we already see a lot of big guys on both of these squads, and these guys are 7th graders.
Yeah, these guys, they don't look anything like 7th graders, I can assure you that, gentlemen. Up close and personal, I'm looking up at a lot of them. I'm not the shortest guy in the room, but when I'm with them, it feels like I am. Beasts all over the field, and look, we already got ourselves a score, maybe a little more offense in this one.
Yeah, Jaden Mathews, just an absolute burner.
So a quick pass, able to pick up a few yards there. Got it over to J.B. Mojado.
I'd like to see Machado just take that and just go get 5 or 6 yards. Little bit of dancing around. I know it's early in the game. Jitters are still there. I'd like you to just run through a defender right there.
Yeah, for JB, and he got into a little bit of trouble there. A nice job by the defense of the Freedom just to stay at home. They stayed in their lane. So, JB chopping with his feet a little bit. I agree with you. A little bit of hesitation. You kind of want to see him just go with that. But able to pick up a couple of yards, at least get some positive gain.
The quarterback hands it off and met behind the line. It'll be a loss of 2.
Just blown up there, and they tried to pull the guard over to the side, and I'll tell you.
Big David Herrera swallowed that up.
Waiting in the hole for that one. Not enough time. The pulling guard on that play was Joseph Lawton from California. Tons of California kids on these rosters that we've seen so far. I'd say California and Texas very, very well represented.
It seems like from the earlier game and in this one, anyone with the number 98 is the largest human being on the field.
It's a popular number.
David Herrera, what a monster.
3rd down and 12. They bring a blitz, looking one-on-one coverage, overthrowing his receiver. That time it was Parker Fulgham.
Tight coverage on that play as well. Carson Ports, the defensive back, seemed like maybe he had a little bit of grabbing going on in the chest area.
They're letting him play.
Was right there. Hey, and I like that.
Me too.
I like that. You want to let him go, play physical in this one. I'm all aboard for that. And a nice job, though, by the offensive line of the Honor. They sent a double inside blitz on the opposite side. The offensive line picked it up to give their quarterback time to try and make that play down the field.
Yeah, but the California kid from Clovis, California, Logan Carpenter, number 44, on that left side of the defense. Did a nice job getting some pressure there. I would imagine we'll see him flash all game.
Fielded at around the 29-yard line. Being back up for Freedom. Went 3 and out in their first offense possession, down 7-0 early on. 6.5 to go in quarter number 1. Second game of today's triple header. Part of the Middle School Bowl game series. 2019 Texas Classic. Nick Laupia, Zach Wolchuk, Eric Chiafalo here. Game on Sports from the Ford Center in Frisco, Texas.
And I was right about the 98, gentlemen. Even on the Honor, Mr. Brooklyn Odom from San Antonio, Texas, just ran off the field. We'll see him here again in a minute. You cannot miss him when he's on the field. Goodness gracious, does that dude
I should go get a 98
size.
jersey on and see how I compare.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can fill it out as well.
You won't look quite as good, but you'd fill it out.
Here's an impressive run, able to break through a couple of tacklers and gets a first down.
Well, number 3 on our roster is Tariku Savage, who is listed as a quarterback. But a beautiful run, just weaving his way through the whole, good patience. Initially, it seemed like there was some penetration in the backfield. Doesn't halt them at all. Got an injured lineman here on the Freedom squad, but a great run there early.
Yeah, it looks like Griffin Curtis, the Little Elm guy, local kid, looks like he got shaken up on the play. Looks like a lower extremity injury here. We'll see how serious it is.
So the run brought it all the way out to the 43-yard line. Be first down and 10. Hope to see the lineman from the Freedom team be okay. USA Football, a member of the U.S. Olympic Committee, offers athletes premier skill building and competitive platforms to represent the United States in our favorite sport. Athletes in grades 6 to 11 can get started at one of 18 U.S. national team regionals held nationwide this spring and summer. Top performers earn U.S. national team roster invitations to face the world's best competition, play for at the under 16 to 19 levels. Visit usafootball.com for more, and it's good to see the lineman getting up on his own power.
Well, not quite on his own power there. At least he's up, but it looks like this one might be a game ender for him. Hopefully not quite as bad as it looks there for Griffin Curtis.
He was able to put a little bit of weight on that right foot, but not for very long.
Yeah, not sure if it was an ankle, a knee, but hopefully we'll get an update on him. We can report it back to you, but looks like Griffin Curtis might be out for the game here.
Yeah, we'll have to see. You know, we're not doctors.
Well, speak for yourself.
I forgot you had that MD.
Yeah, just do this on the side.
So we're back in action, 1st and 10 on their own 43-yard line for Team Freedom, down 7-0 early on. It was a quick strike, first play of the game by Jaden Mathews, 75-yard run into the end zone to put Honor on top, 7-0. Honor in the red uniforms, and now trying to break free of a few of those red jerseys was Michael Wheat. Maybe he got a yard or two.
Good job by Blake Barber crashing inside. I'm digging the pistol set, though, for the Freedom squad. I've always been a fan of the pistol offense.
I'll tell you what, number 34, Ryan Simmons, the linebacker out of Brentwood, California, showing some speed there. That dude's relentless. I can't wait to watch him play for 4 quarters. He's all over.
Yeah, I know you do love the linebackers.
I'm a linebacker guy.
Yourself.
That's right. And when you see these guys, just the high motor, the tenacity, sideline to sideline, I'm watching you all game, baby.
Yeah, and he looks like he's really kind of the captain in the middle of that defense, calling plays, moving some linemen over.
Trying to go for a quick pass. Wheat not able to connect, though, was looking for Kyle Hall and bring up 3rd down and long.
Much like the previous game, though, we're starting to see, and this is more so instead of outside pressure, it's inside. The defensive tackles are doing a nice job of pushing the pocket right in the face of the quarterback. There's nothing you hate more than just pressure right in your grill if you're a quarterback. It makes it extremely difficult, and that's something when we watch these quarterbacks play of the Freedom squad, if that continues, we saw some rush throws that carried over into the second half from pressure that happened in the first half of that previous outing. That could be something that we follow here throughout this afternoon in our second game.
Yeah, you start getting hit early in that game, it makes you want to get rid of that ball a half second, maybe too soon throughout the game.
3rd down and 9. Wheat steps back. Here comes a rush. Got hit as he threw, but able to make the catch and break out of 1, 2, 3 tackles and is down at the 27.
Brady Kennedy, my oh my, from Las Vegas, Nevada. There were several things to love about that play right there. First off, he comes back to the ball.
Yep.
Creates separation from the DB, helps his quarterback out, makes a great catch, spinning, turns upfield effortless. Then you see him fight off a tackler and get some more yak. Excellent job from Brady Kennedy, a tall, athletic kid.
And how about Michael Wheat, quarterback out of New York, hanging in the pocket when he had number 77, Owen Marinowski, breathing down his neck from that left side.
Handed off up the middle, gets a good carry. Gain of about 5. And Savage again.
And Savage is just a low, just kind of, a bowling ball is almost how I would describe him.
Yeah.
Low center of gravity, runs behind his pads. I love the way that he just weaves inside, right in between the tackles there. No wasted motion from him either.
I think the kids call him thick with 2 C's. Thick as a bowl of oatmeal. Goodness gracious, Savage. By the way, Savage, another great name. We had a Commander. We had a Tank in the last game. Now we get a Savage. Uh-oh.
Busted play. Oof. There's your boy laying the wood.
Golly, look at that. Marinowski making another appearance on the edge of that defense. And, of course, my guy Ryan Simmons at the linebacker spot. making plays all over
Not
the
to
field.
just step all over your call here, Nick.
No.
You had a couple of football guys up here watching some football. We can't help ourselves. You're going to have to shut us up.
No, you're exactly right. Busted play right there. And, well, there you go. The linebacker making a couple of plays in early on.
Love to see it, especially in the backfield, man. You get to make plays behind the line of scrimmage as a linebacker. There's not much of a better feeling.
So 3rd down and 12 after the busted play. Michael Wheat held on to the ball. Savage back there in the backfield with him as well. Steps back. As a man had a step open.
You see what I saw?
Oh, I saw it.
What
Nico
a-
Knudsen from Savage, Minnesota. Absolutely ravishing Tariku Savage right there. He tried to step up, and good on Savage, tried to step up.
I think Savage held his own, though. He
I was
stayed on his
talking
feet.
Your boy there with the blitz that came in, 34, Peyton, what is it, Prestito?
Oh, no, my guy's Ryan Simmons.
Ryan Simmons, 34.
Ryan Simmons. He comes in on a blitz. The offensive lineman inside, I want to say it was 72, Layden Barger. Just put him on his high knee.
Gotcha. So
Uh-oh.
there was a lot of things happening on my play because I was watching 56 absolutely blow up Savage right there. But good on Savage. Try to step up. You're running back. You're trying to protect your quarterback there. But when a defensive tackle is coming barreling in, you don't have much a shot.
And Team Freedom calling a timeout. The play clock was down to 3. 2:57 to go on this 4th down and 13. On the Honor 31-yard line. USAFootball.com is your home to gain an edge on the field. Be a better coach, player, or football parent at USAFootball.com. So far, we see a big difference between these two games.
I wasn't, I'm thinking the same thing. It's crazy just a jump up from one age group. I can't wait to see what we've got in the finale here in the 3rd game with the eldest.
Welcome back to 2nd quarter of action, tied up at 7. Freedom, good field position to start off the 2nd quarter. 1st down and 10 on the Honor 37. So play action, roll out, has a man open, is caught. It takes a trio of red jerseys to bring him down, gain of about 4.
Finding the big tight end, Trace Bowman from Prior Lake, Minnesota. Nice gain there for the 1st down. Solid drive here from the Freedom. The good mixture of the run and the pass. Emmanuel Favy really kind of setting the tone physically in the run game.
I like the play action after
Absolutely.
a couple of physical runs by number 20. 2nd down and 6. It's another play action, a quarterback keeper. Might have been a read option. Close to the 1st down mark.
Yeah, just fakes it, and then the quarterback just pulls it. Wyatt Sprague keeps it himself off that right side. Good job blocking by the receivers. We talked about that at halftime of the previous game with Al Pops. He said, hey, it's important to be a complete receiver. And a lot of kids that you find at this age group, they're just all about making the Odell Beckham Jr. highlight reel catch. But you want to be a well-rounded player, and a big part of that, playing the receiver position, is setting up your blocks.
This Honor defense is going to start wearing down a little bit. It's been a long drive, a lot of it on the ground.
Sprog Steps back, and a quick slant pass is caught. Breaks a few tackles, and now trying to cut back toward the middle, down at the 11-yard line. First down, and it's Brady Kennedy again.
Brady Kennedy, just an absolute stud, working the middle. Big target, not afraid of the contact, and you see him there breaking another tackle. He's already got 1 touchdown for the Freedom. Looking for a second one there.
Yeah, just a reliable guy. We saw him with the touchdown earlier with a nice fade in zone. He can do it on the outside, and then he comes back and right over the middle in traffic, shrugging off defenders. I mean, the dude's just an all-around stud.
First and 10 on the 11-yard line. Impressive drive by Freedom. It's going to be another pass, trying to wide receiver screen. Has some blocks, cutting to the end zone, and is in. Jalen Smith with the touchdown.
And Jalen Smith, just a nice play design right there. Just get it out to him in the flat, and then he just blows right by everybody. Made it look easy. Thought maybe he'd have a chance at having to make a defender miss there on the corner, but the speed right there, just able to run by everyone.
Yeah, I like that there from Freedom. Easy play for the quarterback. When you know you got a guy with that much speed, you get him in space that way. He's only got 15 yards to go. I'll take my chances. He'll race to the end zone.
Just a really beautiful drive there all around for the Freedom.
On the scoring play, the wide receivers on the screen able to establish the blocks and create a lane. And puts it home. The extra point is no good. 13-7, 7:46 to go in the first half of action.
There you go, 14-7 or 13-7. It seems like it might just be a ping pong situation here. So the Freedom tacks one up. Nice drive. Honor. Service to you now.
We'll see in this Freedom team, at least on the defensive side, they've had a couple of nice plays so far. Here's a handoff on the first play, able to break a tackle. Flag comes flying in. It's a good run, about 7 yards. Looks like it might be coming back though.
Jaden Mathews showing off that speed to the edge. Dude's a baller. We've already seen it earlier.
Yeah, he took the first play of the game just
absolute
with
stud.
ease.
It's a holding penalty against Honor. So that will set them back 10 yards. First down and 20. All the way back up to the 15-yard line. As Jaden Mathews, like you said, first play of the game, is able to bring it home. 75-yard run. But since then, Honor haven't really been able to get a whole lot of rhythm going.
They got Brett Liljedahl in there at quarterback now, and what a stud this kid is. Just works exceptionally hard, strong arm, but just a great young man on and off the field.
There's a quick pass right there in a wide open field. One man potentially to beat. No one's going to beat him. And just like that, 85-yard pitch and catch touchdown.
Well, that's the beauty of the slant right there. And the coverage dictated that one. Keelan Jackson just takes that one, right over the middle. Just catches it, turns right upfield, and the speed to beat. I mean, there was nobody back there. The safeties were playing so far up. Keelan Smith, all he had to do was not stumble, and that one was going to be 6.
And there's the arm strength right there, an absolute bullet to Smith.
Yeah, you saw it right there from Liljedahl. Gets the ball out quick, on the money. Receiver doesn't have to break stride at all, and that's a house call.
Suarez in for the extra point, right down the middle, so the Honor grab a 1-point lead, and it's another quick strike. This time through the air.
You got to wonder about that Freedom defense, though. You always love a quick score, but they just were on the field for quite a long, grueling drive in that last series, and now quick turnaround back on the field. We'll see how they react.
The physical drive, especially with Favre getting majority of the handoffs. See if this Honor defense can buckle down and get a quick stop, perhaps get a little bit of rest before the halftime break. Still 7:25 to go in quarter number 2. Already more offense than what we saw the entire first half of the previous game. So 1st and 10, Michael Wheat back in at quarterback. There's a blitz coming in from Honor and back to the original line of scrimmage.
You can just hear the pads popping from up here, man. The contact. And look at 54 in red. Dalton Smith. This kid looks like a grown man out there.
Oh, he is. I need to check that birth certificate.
They came with a little bit of pressure on the edge that time and really nowhere for Savage to go. 2nd down and 10.
Had a bit of a mismatch, in my opinion, in the slot.
Wheat will keep it, has some blocks, gets his legs taken out from underneath him, picks up about 7 yards on the quarterback keeper, 3rd and short.
Number 1, Michael Wheat, keeper. Tackle made by number 94, Trey Scott.
There's one of the linebackers right there, making a stop, bring up the 3rd down. It's Trey Scott from Coral Springs, Florida.
How about Brock Jackson on that defensive line from Lumberton, Texas, getting after it. Really nice chase down there. All these defensive linemen, man, they just have such high motors. They're all trying to make plays in the backfield. Unfortunately, that wasn't in the backfield, but it's still a heck of a play.
So a high snap goes over the head of Wheat, is picked up by Savage. He puts it on the ground, is picked up and stumbling to the end zone and puts it in. Gannon Brooks. Or Brock Jackson, number 63.
Yep, just shouted him out the play before.
Right on cue.
Yeah, that worked out beautifully for him, and that's what happens. When your motor never stops and you're always around the football, good things happen. Scoop and score right there from Brock. What a great defensive play.
Yeah, and that was one where you've got Savage who tries to pop on that ball at the running back position and, at least have it where we can punt it away. Instead, he tries to not just fall on it, he picks it up, tries to turn it back upfield. He ends up losing the ball again, and Brock there, Johnny on the spot, able to pick it up and finish. So a huge turn of events here as the Honor have taken the lead.
Again, puts it through 21-13. A 14-point swing in about 2 minutes. 5:51 to go. Honor gets a defensive score, and that will give them a little more energy. They've spent a lot of time in this first half on the field defensively, but you got to think that defensive score, a little bit of momentum, and definitely some more energy for that team in red.
Gosh, I'm so happy football's back, gentlemen. I mean, it's been a long off season, it feels like, and now we're sitting here, USA football, these guys playing their hearts out, high-flying defense, offense. What a good time. It's a great time of year. We're right around the corner from Saturdays, Sundays, Fridays, Thursdays, Mondays. I mean, we only get like 2 days a week with no football. It's the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
It'll be exciting.
This one's been a fun game.
The next game, kids going into high school, get to see the future of high school football, especially with a lot of Texas kids here this week. We get to cover a lot of that stuff throughout the year. So, like you said, it's just great to have some football back, and we get to see a little bit of the future and probably start highlighting some of these names for a few years down the road and start making your little notes and everything for when they start getting into high school.
No doubt about it. And then they move on to college, and we've seen a lot of these USA football kids turn out to be great college athletes, some of them even great professional athletes. We just saw, one guy right here, if I'm going to drop a name, Dwayne Haskins, Ohio State quarterback, the newest Washington Redskin quarterback. He was a top 15 pick in the NFL draft this year. And, it seems like just yesterday he was out here, a little 7th grader running around making plays for USA football.
Yeah, Al Pop's talking about, 6 of the top 60 picks in this year's NFL draft participated in USA football, and
they were hoping maybe 3 of the top 10 for next year's draft.
They're
hoping
Georgia being one of the names, and currently in the league we've had former number 1 picks, Jameis Winston being one. Todd Gurley's gone and had tremendous success, just going to a Super Bowl this past year with the LA Rams, the Honey Badger. Tyrann Mathieu, Jordan Lewis for the Dallas Cowboys, here locally, playing and practicing right here in the Ford Center at the Star in Frisco. So, the names, we can go on and on. This is quite the program here that USA Football turns out.
And it speaks to the team pathway that they preach so much, and the work that you got to put in starts also with the coaches that they bring in. 38 of the 42 coaches here this week are college coaches. So these kids are getting some of the best of the best. So here's a handoff to Favre. Maybe gets 1 or 2 yards.
Yeah,
but
get
the
back.
process definitely works.
No doubt about it. And for the freedom right now, just getting back to that run game, that ground and pound, it worked so well on that previous drive. Obviously, they got the fumble there on the last one, but on their scoring drive, it was a lot of number 20 grinding out yardage, wearing out that defense. And then next thing you know, Brady Kennedy over the top.
And look out, Brady Kennedy's out there again, man-to-man coverage there off that right side.
2nd and 8, the quarterback keeper able to get some blocks, spins out of 1 tackle, and will get down at the 40-yard line for a first down.
What was impressive about that play, not just, Sprog able to get the first down there, but he gets into the contact, and what is he doing? He's protecting the football.
Yep.
You just had a fumble on your previous drive.
Yep.
You make a great play. You go 12 yards. The last thing you want is at the end of the run, you got guys coming in there trying to blow you up, and the ball pops out. Good job of securing high and tight there for Sprog.
It's the mental toughness you see there by the quarterback, losing the football, like you said, last time, and not worried about getting the ball again and taking some contact, but just a little more secure that last time. That's what you like to see from young players. Here comes another big run by number 20. Makes a man miss down to the 25. No one's going to catch him. It's a big run, touchdown, Emmanuel Favre.
Yeah, Favre, he's been knocking on the door or busting a big one all game long, and that one, he finally takes it to the house, but there was a big-time pancake block. I want to say it was Derek Thompson who sprung him loose. We got to give some love to the big fellas. Eric, I know you love your linebackers. Man, I love my linemen.
Yes, you do.
And the
You're
big daddy up
dancing
front,
yourself.
he sprung that one there for Favre.
Yeah, they took it off the weak side there. They sent everybody out wide to the left. They had a tight end there to the right. And no one was there to stop Favre. What a great play.
So looking to bring it to within a point with 4.5 to go. Gets the ball set up on the tee. And the kick is good. So 21-20, a big run for Emmanuel Favre from Fountain.
What do the
Colorado.
analytics tell you there? Should go for 2, you just wait later in the game, we'll try and get that point back?
Yeah, I'll try to get that point back later. I think they got a good feeling they're going to be putting up plenty more.
I've been so baseball crazy the last few months without
leave,
football.
Yeah, let's not leave points on the
analytic
board.
and number talks, man. Oh,
it's killing me. How about we just play the game?
So this Honor offense back out on the field.
Peyton Fulgham back at the helm, running the show now here for the Honor.
First down run up
There's
to
some
the
speed.
Outside. Lowers the shoulder, takes on a few blue
Physicality.
jerseys. First down.
Yeah, nice job there by Chris Johnson, the second, the wide receiver, blocking along the edge as well. It's the little things that make some of these plays possible. And right now, that's an outstanding job blocking for J.C. Dickerson.
Dickerson gets really his first action of the game out of Arizona. Able to pick up 9 yards. So he stepped out just short.
Dickerson's about as quick and athletic as it gets.
They're trying another wide receiver screen. Right to the 35.
That's my big corner friend out there. Big old 14, David Martin, comes up there, makes a nice tackle. I mean, you look at the kind of corners that are succeeding now in the NFL, it's the big, long-armed, rangy guys. He certainly fits that bill, and the ability to come up there and make a tackle, that certainly helps as well.
Yeah, to be that big and still have the feet and the hips to be out there and be able to cover these stud receivers, man, that's an athlete and a half.
First down. Fulgham back in at quarterback, trying to go deep, has a step and is almost brought in, bobbled not able to hold on, though.
But not a bad throw by Fulgham there.
No, back shoulder. I like the placement of it. And receiver got his hands on it, but defender was in pretty good position. And Fulgham, man, that dude's got a rocket. He showed it off multiple times so far early in this game.
Chris Johnson, the second, the intended receiver, almost brought it in. Instead, to bring up 2nd down and 10 on their own 35. There's been a few times now Fulgham has shown off the arm strength. He's going to go another quick pass, is deflected and then intercepted. Has a man to beat and is brought down at the 13-yard line. It's another turnover.
Roman Giordano.
A little too much mustard on that one there from Fulgham. His guy couldn't hang on to it, right in the defender's hands. But credit to number 66, Caden Snowberger, offensive lineman, Evans, Georgia, with the hustle play and at least giving the defense an opportunity to right that wrong.
Giordano out of California with the interception, and the return brings it all the way to the 12-yard line.
Man, we're seeing a mix of everything.
Oh,
we
yeah.
got the big play. We got the long, methodical drive for a touchdown. We've seen a defensive score. Now we got just a good turnover in midfield to kind of tilt momentum here for the Freedom. I mean, goodness gracious, this first half has just been a mixed bag of just pure football greatness.
So 3:35 to go. Freedom looking to take the lead. They're on the honor 12-yard line. Looking to score quickly.
Oh!
What a catch!
Unbelievable.
Oh, my goodness. Brady Kennedy again.
None other. The Las Vegas kid steps up once again, his 2nd touchdown of the game.
Kid's unbelievable.
He's a red zone monster. I mean, as soon as you get inside the 20-yard line, it's like, all right, where's Kennedy? I'm going up top to him, and I know he's coming down with it.
Just goes back shoulder. That ball gets anywhere near him, he just vacuums it in.
Yeah, he's a magnet for the football, always coming down with it.
And that's an unguardable play.
It really
if you
is.
can connect that back shoulder, first off, it takes a good throw. That was an accurate ball. And then the receiver there to go ahead and have that kind of body control and awareness to haul it in. Brady Kennedy, he's making a strong case for MVP right now for the Freedom Squad.
26-21. What a play by Kennedy. Tipped it to himself with his one free hand. He was still battling off and then able to bring in the ball after kind of tipping it to himself, and a quick strike. Now it's up by 5 for Freedom with 3:31 to go in the second quarter.
Yep, this is what we were hoping for. High flying, lots of offense, big plays. You mentioned it. Walchuk with the defensive scores. We've seen lots of turnovers, and now it looks like Liljedahl's back in action.
1st and 10, and all over it. The big defensive lineman from Freedom.
Mays, another Las Vegas kid. Between him and Kennedy, Vegas has some studs out there.
Yeah, and we've seen really, the high school football scene in Vegas with Bishop Gorman there, obviously being a private school, but, a lot of those public schools, I think, with the success of Bishop Gorman.
They've attracted some talent.
They absolutely have.
Second down and 14 now. After the tackle by Mays II out of North Las Vegas.
The NFL draft's going to be in Vegas next year, gentlemen. What do you think? Bro trip?
I don't see why not.
Go say what's up to Kennedy. Go say what's up to Mays.
Could.
See how the fellas are
we'll
doing.
make the trip with Pops. We'll make it a whole thing.
Let's see how many draft picks we can get out of USA football that upcoming year.
Hey, let's see how many we can get in the top 10. I'm thinking at least 3.
Pass incomplete brings up 3rd and 14.
Would be pretty cool, though. Draft weekend in Vegas. I mean, that's
I think it's about time the NFL got a team there.
Well,
the Raiders
are
obviously
headed there.
Will be moving, but that's a destination road game for every single team in the NFL.
No doubt about it. Cowboys play. We'll be there.
There's a high snap, goes over the head of Fulgham, and will just sit on it at about the 3-yard line, bring up 4th down.
That's certainly something that we've seen, not as much as maybe I would have thought.
but some high snaps.
Yep.
You know, that center exchange, and we haven't seen a single play really taken from under center. And, you know, that's just kind of how football's morphed to the shotgun offense. But there was one that just sailed right over the head of Liljedahl.
Yeah, we've seen plenty of high snaps. They've been fortunate. Most of them haven't cost them, but that one's really big. Now you're backed up. Obviously no pass rush on the punt here, but real game situation. Never fun to be punting out of your own end zone.
A line drive punt at the 40-yard line. So, again, good field position for Freedom. The final minute, 51 to go in the first half of action. They're up 5, looking to extend that lead. We got a lot of big playmakers on the team in blue. 2 timeouts and plenty of time out on the field with this good starting field position.
Yeah, let's see if this Honor defense can step up and make a play here. Game's kind of swung in favor of Freedom here, closing out the half, and Freedom's got a great opportunity to extend that lead. We've seen Kennedy in the red zone be an absolute monster. We know about the running back, Favreau. But they're bringing Savage out there right now, who's another stud. They're trying to extend this lead.
So we'll start on the 40-yard line, 1st and 10. Play action, they'll go with the screen. Pick up 1 or 2. Was able to get it out to Kyle Hall.
Play took a little too long to develop. It looked like they had an
Absolutely.
opportunity to get a good chunk out of that one, but just took a while to gather the ball, get going north and south.
Almost seemed like it was going in slow motion there.
It
You
did
know, with
feel a
Hall
little
kind
bit.
of bringing it in, stops, looks ahead, really gave the defense time to react to it. And again, Jojo Clark just sticking his nose in there. He's been all over the field for the Honor here in this first half.
Second down, trying to go deep, and over the head of everyone will be incomplete. Bring up 3rd down.
And I think Joshua Carey, who you'll be talking to here at half, played in this game last year. He kind of looked around. I mean, am I going to get a flag call here? But look, credit the officials. They've been calling this thing even, and they've been letting these guys play. A little bit of contact there in the middle, but I didn't see anything egregious.
I'll bring up 3rd and 8 on the 42-yard line. 66 seconds left, and a 5-point lead for Freedom here in the first half.
I don't know how on 3rd and long you can't find your guy, Mr. Kennedy. He's going to be lined up out wide to the left,
Oh, it's
single
funny.
coverage.
Wasn't on the field the first 2 downs, but 3rd and 8, you need a play. Kennedy's out there.
Yep, and here he goes.
We're looking at him, and a deep curl route. Got through 1 tackle, but will be stopped just short. Honor got a little bit of help out there, be 4th down and short.
There's something that frustrates me more, where it's 3rd down and 8, and you run your route short of the yard to gain. Now, I don't know that was necessarily on Kennedy. The ball had to come out quick from Michael Wheat. But certainly, you know, he ran about a 5 or 6 yard route when he needed 8. He tried to spin away from it and pick up some extra yak. But now it's 4th down and 2, and I think, you know, depending on what your field goal kicking situation is, this is probably one where you go for it.
Yeah, I think you got to send Emmanuel Fave in there. Let's go get 2 with the stumbling, rumbling Fave, who we've already seen take 1 to the house. And he just grinds out yards. Hand it to him. Still got some time. Gather yourself. Get inside that 20 and then go up to Kennedy once more.
Great coaches are always learning. USA Football makes it easy to lift your knowledge and your team. Click development and training at usafootball.com. and see what coaches are talking about. Click development and training at usafootball.com today. And again, coaching is such a big part of this 5-day stay in Frisco. 38 of the 42 coaches here this week are college coaches. Something we talked about with Pops, who will be joining us in the 3rd quarter. We saw wide receivers making those blocks downfield. A lot of the wide receiver coaches from these colleges come in and really instill that into these young wide receivers at such a young age, and we've seen that at an even more highlighted note so far in this first half of this second game.
Without question. That has been a big-time note here today. Now, a player we haven't seen get quite as involved in this first half is Tommy Alfaro, a big-bodied receiver there, number 10 at the top of your screen.
Here you go, 4th down and 2, a late developing play. Wheat will keep it as a lot of red jerseys in front of him will be stopped short.
Yeah, that was a designed run all the way, whether it was a keeper for Wheat or if he was going to hand it off to Savage. But you could tell by the receivers not even looking for the ball. They were just blocking downfield and nowhere to go. Good job defensively, and again, an excellent play. Miles Pankratz getting into the action there for the honor.
Caden Gaboni, linebacker. Plano, your kind of guy,
Hey,
Chuck.
go Plano.
All right, so 50 seconds left, 1 timeout, and you have Fulgham back in at quarterback. He shows he has a lot of arm strength. See if he can put something there, but instead they'll try with the run. What a tackle.
Sit down, my friend.
Morgan Simmons from Kansas City.
Gosh,
man.
what a dominant man play that was.
Just a man beast out there, Morgan Simmons.
Goodness gracious, Morgan.
It's a loss of 8. They'll let the time run down. Fulgham from the shotgun again, looking for an open man. Instead is chased out, directing traffic, has a man at the marker, is caught.
It's a beautiful throw. Yeah, that was unbelievable right there by Fulgham. Instant pressure, having to roll out, little scramble drill action, direct traffic here, and then his guy comes up big for him.
It's Isaiah Green with the catch.
Oh, Isaiah Green. All right, excuse me. I thought it was Jesus.
Yeah, you bite your tongue.
I will. I will.
No, that was an excellent job, though, by Fulgham. And I like, you pointed out directing traffic. He had that point, say, hey, get over here, throws the ball along the sidelines. And that was one, you lose 8, you might go ahead and say, let's pack this one up and go into the half.
But not feeling good either going into the half.
Fulgham making the play to keep this thing alive with 12 seconds left.
Timeout by Freedom with 12 seconds to go is their final timeout. 1st and 10 now on the 44-yard line for Honor. Again, Fulgham has thrown it deep a few times in this first half. So back in. 1 timeout left for Honor. 12 seconds to go on their own 44. 1st down and 10. Fulgham steps back and is intercepted. And another turnover for this Honor offense, as that time it looks like Peyton Harrison got the interception, a linebacker out of San Antonio.
Yeah, just in the right spot there. Fulgham trying to force it into a tight window. And a nice play by Peyton Harrison.
Yeah, he just didn't see him. A little Peyton on Peyton crime there. And, man, Fulgham just didn't see him there. He thought he had a guy wide open across the middle, but coming from the right side was Mr. Harrison with a really nice play. That's how you want to close the half out there if you're the Freedom. Still got time for one more play, and I don't see Kennedy out there. It looks like maybe they'll just run this one out. I'd probably go up top to Kennedy, see if I can't get one more. What do you think?
Alfaro's not out there either.
Their biggest wide receiver, Joshua Carey, is the tallest one that they have out there right now. Not the biggest on the roster. They're going to go deep, and it's into a sea of red.
Wow.
No one able to come up with it. But that'll do it for the first half of action. 26-21, Freedom on top of Honor. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back the second half of action. Mr. Chiafalo will have an interview, and then we'll have Pops up here in the booth with us again. A little more insight for this USA football program. So don't go anywhere. Stay with us here on Game On Sports.
It was a landmark moment. The idea that the NFL, Pete Carroll and Rocky Said and the Seahawks all come together to ensure that there's going to be consistent technique and consistent terminology taught through the shoulder tackling system.
We believe in shoulder contact here, and we think that we have ways that we would like to share with you that might help your game.
I think because of maybe some of the naming, heads up and hawk, people fail to realize that the actual fundamental principle was we wanted to tackle with our shoulders.
If this system didn't work on the field, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
This is where the game is going, and we want to make sure that we're working as best we can to solidify this game for the future.
You know, it's one of those things now where we're in our 50s and we've been through this. And oh, sorry, I'm in my 50s. I married her really young. She's in her 30s.
I mean, I think the most important thing is that you kids play sports for the right reasons.
You know, sports has always been a part of my life with my two brothers and my father coaching us and just about everything.
Your motto and your athlete's motto should be to treat others as you want to be treated.
It's kind of like just let the coach coach the kids, just let the coach deal with the officials.
Be the way you want your kids to be.
We can't express how much youth sports help our 3 kids.
Welcome to USA Football's Virtual Parents Clinic. My husband Mike and I want to share what we've learned both through our own experience and talking to football parents across the United States.
You already know Team USA out here, bro. Team USA, we out here giving back to our community. You feel me? It's the only way to do it.
I am so grateful to have this group of young men here today from USA Football. They are here engaging with our students.
USA! 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 We got dance parties going on. We got competition. Everybody's warming up to us. We're having fun. We love the whole group. They love us. Hi.
Hi, mommy, dad.
We love the kids. We love people. We love our people. Hey, spread the love. We should spread the love. He's going to be on my side.
Y'all are our future. And I look around and you guys are going to be off in college, off in careers in just a few years. Maybe some of y'all are going to play professional football. But you guys are the ones that are going to be in charge of our communities to come. And you guys are the ones that are going to have the opportunity to interact and to hire people that have intellectual disabilities.
Nice meeting you guys. We're going to miss you, best friend.
And welcome back as we are getting closer and closer to the second half of action. 26-21, Freedom ahead of Honor. A very exciting first half of action. A lot of offensive fireworks, Zach, we saw in that first 20 minutes of play.
That was an outstanding half of football. You know, we had some defensive touchdowns. Offensively, you started off with the big run to just start the game with a bang right out of the gate. Some much improved quarterback play than what we saw in the first game, but you know, that's to be expected as these kids grow into their craft as they get older and older. And all in all, I mean, the physicality, it's amazing. We got Al Pops up here with us now, but, you know, the leap in just the speed of play, the tempo, the physicality, just from an age group, it's really kind of mind-blowing to witness.
It's crazy. That first game, first of all, thank you guys for having me up here again. That first game, athletes, you know, born 2006, 2007. This game, athletes born in 2005. So it's literally one calendar year, and you can see the difference in ability, play style, the whole yard, whole 9 yards.
Well, and it goes back to kind of that team pathway and being in the system and the program. After a few years, you really start to see these players improve leaps and bounds. And Eric Chiafalo is currently down on the sideline with a player who has been in this program for a few years. So go ahead and toss it down to Eric and see what it's kind of like being in this program after being in it after a few years. Eric?
Yeah, thanks, Nick. Down here with Joshua Carey, wide receiver for Freedom, and he is from Lincoln, California. This is his third go-around here with USA Football. And, Josh, thank you so much for joining me, man. Great first half right there for your Freedom squad. I'm curious to know, you know, you've been there, done that now 3 years. What's been special about this year for USA Football?
Just making all the new friends, seeing every talent everywhere. So it's just been great.
That's fantastic. And you mentioned the friends. I'm curious, you know, you meet a lot of new people, new athletes each and every year from all around the country. You're obviously on the West Coast, but we got guys East Coast, West Coast, and everything in between. You meet some lifelong friends here. Am I wrong? You got some relationships that you build?
Yes, I do.
Very good. And so one last one for you here. You've been here in Texas. First of all, what's the Texas heat been treating you?
It's not good. It's very hot, but you just got to power through it and just work.
That's right. Now, have you gotten a chance to grub on any good food down here? We got a lot of good food here in Texas. I know California does it right, but Texas, no one does it better.
Yeah, barbecue.
Barbecue. Where'd you go?
I forgot the name of the restaurant, but it was good.
It was good, right? Yeah, all right, very good. Well, that's Joshua Carey, ladies and gentlemen. Been there, done that, USA football veteran, and he's gearing up for the second half. Let's go ahead and throw it back to Nick and Zach as they get you ready for half number 2.
Thank you, Eric, and that's a lot of fun.
Pops, where'd they go? Where was the barbecue joint?
I don't know, but the one I tell people to go to all the time is Hard 8. You cannot go wrong at Hard 8.
Oh, yeah. Hard 8, there was, I think, Pecan Lodge in downtown
Pecan
Dallas.
Lodge
You got to get there.
That's a little bit far for these.
You got to get there
Frisco.
at 10 a.m.
DFW is just so big.
Yeah. But
I was wondering who would be more nervous for that interview, Eric or Joshua. I think it was Eric.
Yeah, Eric probably.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Pops. I got to ask you about some of these players because we saw an outburst of talent there. Let's start with the running back, Jaden Mathews, who took that first carry right off that far left sideline to the house. What can you tell us about that young man?
You know, he's a kid, you take a look at him and he passes that eye test right away. For an athlete who's going to be in 8th grade next year, he's already well put together muscular-wise. 5'8", 155, I believe, is his dimensions there. But he's built, he gets the game, he sees the game differently than other kids at this age. You know, he went to the Phoenix Regional this past spring, graded out with 2 A's. I mean, he was just phenomenal there, and he was a no-brainer invite for this event.
And then Brady Kennedy for the Freedom Squad, 2 touchdowns. I mean, we're just sitting up here blown away. That touchdown he had on the back shoulder, I just turned around and looked at you. And this kid is unreal.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's going into his freshman year. He'll be at Faith Lutheran, which is a perennial top 10 program there in the state of Nevada. He's in this game, however, because he's a 2005 birth year, which means, you know, he's technically super young for his grade. And to see this ability, you know, when he could actually develop another year at the middle school level is kind of scary. Faith Lutheran is certainly getting a good one.
Then let's look at the quarterbacks. We saw some really good plays there by Peyton Fulgham, as well as Michael Wheat had a really nice touch pass on the first touchdown to Kennedy here on that far side. What can you tell us about the quarterbacks in this one?
I like all 4 in this game. You know, Fulgham is a kid that, again, eye test really says it all. You look at him, he's well put together, very strong arm, very strong core. And Wheat's got he's a little bit shorter. He doesn't have the height of some of these other guys. But what he doesn't have in height, he makes up for with his arm strength, which is second to none at this level.
Have you been impressed watching this first half of play? The offenses, well, you said in the scrimmage, obviously, they put up a lot of points, but again, these guys just met each other and started working with each other on Thursday. Are you kind of impressed how good these offenses kind of meshed together in that first half?
Absolutely. Anytime you take kids from all over the place and, you know, install a quick offense in about 2 practices and then perfect it for the next 4, you have to be impressed that stuff like this is happening on the field. But, however, like you mentioned, like I told you guys in the pre-production meetings, was that scrimmage the other night, I don't think anybody made a tackle the entire time. They were just up and down the field, scoring points left and right, and, you know, we're kind of seeing that in this first half compared to that first game we had.
I think the offensive line play has also been pretty darn stellar here in this game. Not only, you know, a better job in pass protection, but in the run game as well. When you look at kind of this age group and the offensive line talent that you have maybe compared to other levels and other years, what do you see there?
The offensive line is always tricky for not only our program, but, you know, programs around the country, because at this point the biggest kid can just get in the way, and that's usually effective enough. But now a lot of kids on this team, yes, they're the biggest kid on their home team, but they're actually good football players too. They're not just the chubby kid who gets in the way. These guys are big. There's a lot of muscle to a lot of these middle school linemen. I was walking around down there before the game, and those guys, I'm just about 6 foot, 205 pounds, and, you know, decently sized human. And these kids, I'm looking up to them, and they're in 7th going into 8th grade, so it's kind of nuts.
It's crazy. And, you know, we made a point about basically every snap we've seen has been out of the shotgun. You know, is that just kind of how the game's
morphed offensively to the shotgun spread style of offense, or do you guys work at all with under center when you have a little bit more time with these kids?
You know, we kind of give the coaches the freedom to install the offenses that they want. You know, we give them some parameters in terms of, you know, motion and guys split out wide and all that stuff. So we do give some parameters, but it's the coach's decision at the end of the day. And if we're seeing everyone in shotgun, everyone doing spread offense, I mean, I think that's just where the game's going a little bit.
I do want to go back, mention at the scrimmage, really no tackling going on, but when we do see tackling in these first 2 games, we've seen very smart tackling. We're not seeing the kind of careless hits that you might expect to see, and that goes back to heads-up football. We've talked about it here. More than 10,000 high schools and middle schools had kind of set up and signed up for the heads-up football program through USA Football. Kind of talk about the emphasis that you guys do, especially throughout this week when you're with these players for just a short amount of time. Is there a little more emphasis on this heads-up tackling, or is that something you implement more just throughout the season?
Yeah, I don't even think it's just this event. I think it's football across the board for this country. You know, when Coach Ingram was up here, we were talking before the game, you know, kids are tackling better. They're tackling safer. Coaches are coaching the proper techniques, the most state-of-the-art techniques in tackling. And across the board, it's just safer. And you're seeing in here, there's not that many injuries, which is, you know, knock on wood, that's a great thing because kids are doing it the right way. It's not just tackling, they're blocking the right way, they're catching the right way, they're running the right way. So USA Football really we pride ourselves on not only coaching up kids in America, not only coaching up coaches in America, but making this a worldwide thing and just getting this game that we all love, football, American-style football, played right.
Well, and that's what we were talking about as well in the production meeting before the first game is football, it's not shrinking like some people would say. It's growing, and that's something that you can point to parents and say, look, we are always on the cutting-edge technology. Well, in this next game, the final game, you have the Dell helmets that actually keep you updated on potential concussions with players, and then you have this heads-up techniques, the different techniques that keep your players safer. That's something really nice that you can go to parents of these younger kids and kind of talk about, look, you can feel comfortable that your kids are playing this sport now, and that, well, we've seen that kind of happen. Like you said, there's been a whole lot of players to choose from. It's kind of a good problem to have when the sport's growing.
Absolutely. You know, it's no secret to anybody that the sport has taken some criticism in recent years, but I don't know how else to say it. I live it every day. Our organization, USA Football, is leading the way in making this game safer and better for everybody involved.
Yeah, and that's just something I wanted to bring up because you don't hear that too often. Like you said, you hear a lot of the criticism, but you don't hear the positives and the great things that USA Football, these other teams and organizations do to make sure that all these players and kids are really in the safest hands possible. And get Heads Up Football. If you're interested in signing up, maybe your middle school, youth league, or high school, you can enroll your program at usafootball.com/headsup. As we are getting ready to start the third quarter of action. 26-21, Team Freedom in front. It's been a very fun game so far. Again, the second of 3 games today in the 2019 Texas Classic. Thank you for tuning in on Game On Sports. Nick Laupia, Zach Wolchuk, Eric Chiafalo was just on the sidelines, and we have Pops back up here with us for some more insight throughout this third quarter of action.
What do you think the odds are we get a 50 burger up here, Pops?
I wouldn't be shocked by that, I swear.
They'll hand it off on the first play, and a good first half for Emmanuel Favre. Able to pick up a few yards there. That's another big physical back.
Yeah, we loved him at our Colorado or our Denver regional this spring. And you look at him, the way he's built, thick calves, thick lower body. He just runs over people. Once this kid, I talked to him during the scrimmage, once he learns to lower that pad level and explode through the hole, he's just going to even go to another level.
And you've seen it at times, and that's really where he's had his best runs, just getting the consistency down with him.
Right.
Brings up 2nd down and 7. Sprague back in at quarterback will keep it. Able to break through and has a little bit of running room past midfield and has just scored it out at around the 43-yard line. A big run by number 4.
How about that? And he did that little point there. Might have faked out the defense a little bit. Great run from Sprague. That's one of the players we didn't really talk about. You mentioned, hey, you like all 4 quarterbacks, but what stands out to you about Wyatt?
Exactly what he just showed, just how intelligent he was. That whole point thing, I mean, that was an intelligent heads-up play. The second you do that, what's the defensive back do? Stops his feet.
Yep.
So this quarterback keeps his feet moving, sets him up. It's like calling out a fake pick in an NBA game. The defender stops, he kept moving, and big gainer.
It's incredible to watch the kids at this age. We even saw a couple of very high IQ plays in the game before. And these guys are very smart football players. Not only do they have the physical ability and the talent, but they got the brains on them as well. As Sprog able to get out, again pointing, directing traffic. That one's broken up.
Yeah, an excellent play there by Kyron Jones. But I want to go back to, we talked about Favre, and he did an excellent job in pass protection there.
Yeah.
You know, and we talked about in our first game, wide receivers and their blocking and being an all-around receiver. But how about those running backs and in pass protection, you know, being a 3-down player, he showcased that right there.
It's crucial. Any player does not want to come off the field. So if you can block and pick up blocks as a running back, you're not going to come off that field on third down. And he has showcased that basically all week long, sticking his nose in there and doing the little things that doesn't get your name in the paper but makes your points on the board.
A second down, so handoff to Favre's got some blocks, able to work his way through, stiff arms a defender out, and it's going to take 3 red jerseys to bring him down at the 25. First down, another physical run.
How about that from Favre? A little Marshawn Lynch imitation. Just get away, little boy. Physical run there from Favre, and another great drive. You know, we've seen some of the big plays from the honor side, but this is the second really good mixture of the run that we've seen, just a methodical drive here from the Freedom.
Yeah, Fave's ready to go. He had 3 touchdowns called back in the scrimmage due to holding calls. And what I love about him also, just a humble kid. I walked up to him and said, "Oh, man, you're down? You got your touchdowns called back?" He said, "No, Coach, just got to score 6 more."
I love that.
Another wide receiver screen, this time on the near sideline. And again, a lot of red jerseys having to bring him down, picks up a few yards. That's another thing that's impressive about almost all these kids so far. You've seen these kids kind of have the talent to where they could be a little cocky and come in with that kind of attitude, but I haven't really seen anyone who would have that kind of attitude. They all seem very eager and humble to learn, and they just seem just very down to earth.
That starts with Coach Ingram and the coaches he brings in and the staff we have here. It's just you are one of 52, or you are one of the team here. You do your job, and everyone's going to take care of it.
Just one of many ways to learn how to play football the right way in all different facets. Here's a rollout, and that one is no good over the head of Kyle Hall.
Yeah, nice athletic play there, able to keep that play alive, rolling out to his right. Obviously unable to get his feet set there, and that ball just kind of sailed on him a little bit. We saw in the previous play, Tommy Alfaro, who I think made his first catch of the game, was one of the highlighted players coming in. And Eric actually in pregame was down there, said he saw some purple hair. Well, that was Tommy Alfaro. What can you tell us about number 10?
Big body receiver. You know, he says he's 5'11". I have to think he's 6'1". He's big body, strong kid, can really stretch the field. I think I put it in the notes, kind of like a Keyshawn Johnson type kid.
I can see that.
Where, you know, he's a big target, can stretch the field if you need him to, but also a possession guy.
Third down and 8. And there's a quarterback keeper all the way down inside the 10 to the 5-yard line. Another impressive run by Sprog.
Yeah, and he is just so good at that, able to just keep it. Good read, peels off to that left side, and he just had so much green to work with.
College programs can't run RPO like that, and these kids have 4 days, and they put it together.
It's unbelievable.
Now, I was about to ask, how impressive is that you come in on Thursday, and they've been running the RPO very successfully, not just on that play, but really throughout that entire first half.
It is amazing, man. It's hats off to these coaches for teaching it. Hats off to these players for picking up and accepting it. It's incredible to watch it come together.
So sets up 1st and goal on the 5. It's going to be a handoff up the middle, fighting forward. Able to get down to about the 1.
He's so strong.
A load to bring down, just twisting his way right to the middle of the field. They're taking it to the 1. He might as well just give it to him again.
He's another – look at his arms when he's just pulling up his pants here. Man, he's another kid. He's going into high school next year, but he's a 2005 birth year, along with, 99% of the athletes playing in this game. So he's another one that technically could have a year to develop more. But he's off into high school next year, and he's going to be a good one.
So second and goal, looking just to punch it in, and that's easy, untouched. Great drive by the offensive line, and Favre gets into the end zone.
Just a brilliant drive from the Freedom again. Milking some clock, take it right down the field and score. Now they're up 2 possessions, give themselves a cushion. Biggest lead of the afternoon thus far. And again, I think you got to give a lot of credit to the offensive line there. They did an excellent job creating some running room not only for Favre but for Sprog as well at the quarterback spot. And how about the special teams? You know, we've talked a little bit about the snaps. You know, long snapping is also an art in itself. And, you know, you highlighted actually a place kicker in the first game that we had. But, you know, overall, your kickers and punters, you know, what goes into developing that position?
You know, that like any position, is tough. You know, leg strength comes with age and development. So having a kicker in 6th and 7th grade who consistently kick field goals, that in itself is a feat. But long snappers, there's guys who go to college programs on scholarship to simply long snap and play 8 plays a game, 10 plays a game. But it's such a necessary tool to make your team go.
So Honor trying to get back on the board. Fulgham in at quarterback, hands it off. Trying to go back to the other side, has an opening and has a lot of speed. I don't think anyone's going to catch him. 1 play, touchdown, and it's Mathews again with the explosive run.
You know, it's not even just the speed, but the vision there to take it over to that far left side, and then as soon as he's got an opening, good luck. There's not an angle that you can take to stop that kid.
Nope. And this is exactly what we expected. Just an offensive shootout. This is, you know, we're down here in Texas. This is Big 12 football right here. This shootout.
Wow. There's not much else to say other than wow when you watch Mathews run the ball. That kid is something special.
That's the second 75-yard touchdown run for Mathews. And brings it back to within 1 possession. And the extra point is good. 33-28, 6:16 to go. And what's turning into a barn burner in quarter number 3 of the second of 3 games today in the 2019 Texas Classic.
I'll tell you who I'm not jealous of is whoever's picking the MVPs of this game.
There's too many to choose from.
Yeah.
No, it's tough. I mean, Favre, Kennedy, both for the Freedom Squad have certainly put their name in the hat. And then, you know, Fulgham's had himself a good game. Mathews has played well on the Honor Squad. Not to mention the defensive plays. We had a defensive touchdown for the Honor.
Right.
This is going to be a tough one.
Absolutely.
And we still have a lot of football left.
You're not wrong about that. And I know, I mean, I highly doubt an offensive lineman will ever win a game MVP, but these guys got to put points on the board somehow.
One day we will get a lineman.
And that's another thing is these offensive line units only have, well, those 4 or 5 days, and both of these offensive lines have done a pretty good job of, and they're all pretty much on the same page with their assignments.
Correct. We only bring in 10 offensive linemen per team, so to have 2 units working cohesively is pretty incredible.
First down is see some of the parents and family and friends of some of these players. A big hit. The flag comes in the secondary.
So that's Montemayor out there. Well, no, it's not actually. It's Juan Sanchez from Midland, Texas. Now, Juan Sanchez is listed, I believe, as a defensive back.
Yes.
Now, if you look at that young man, I wouldn't necessarily peg him as a defensive back.
Correct.
But he seems like quite the athlete, especially for a bigger player.
And here's the background on that. He came to our regional as a linebacker. Our linebacker spots filled up. We sent our invites out. Kids signed up right away. We only take 7 linebackers. So we have a defensive athlete spot that we can use for anybody that we think could be an impact player on the defensive side of the ball, regardless of position. So we extended that to him. He accepted. Dad said, I have no problem with him maybe being in coverage. It'll help him during his regular season in his pass drops and everything like that. Kid accepted the challenge. Boom, right there.
Yeah. He's certainly noticeable out there, but he without a doubt can be an impact player. You can tell there with that physical ability.
So a holding penalty against Freedom sets them back. 1st and 14. They're backed up to their 21-yard line. Another quick pass, juggling it, not able to bring it in. That time was Tyler Kraft.
Yeah, and Kraft had himself a first down there if he had just been able to catch that one. And that just might be a situation where you're looking to bring it in, turn and run before you actually secure possession of the ball.
Exactly. Tyler Kraft, the son of the head coach for this team, he was trying to make a big play, got the ball in his hands, but just didn't do the easiest part of catching the ball before running.
Second down and 14 now. Good protection. It's a pass just over the head, in and out of the hands. That time, I believe that was
Juan Sanchez in the vicinity again.
Yep.
Almost was able to get himself an interception. There he is, big 84 in red. I'll tell you another player who stood out to me defensively playing in that back end and coverage is Jojo Clark, number 27. He just seems like a guy who's got a nose for the football, extremely instinctive player, and intelligent. I mean, he's getting everybody lined up in the right spot, and he always seems to find the football.
I think you said exactly, took the words right out of my mouth. He's smart. He gets guys lined up. He knows what he's doing, and he's always around that ball.
How rare is that to have a player that smart and that kind of leadership at this age?
I want to say it's rare, but it's happening more and more frequently.
They come with the blitz, and Wheat is taken down, a big loss.
Ashton Williams couldn't have planned that any better from Trophy Club, Texas, a local kid going to play at Byron Nelson Trophy Club High School. That's an up-and-coming program here.
Yeah, getting back to that point, I want to say it's rare, but there's a lot of kids who are understanding this game earlier and are developing quickly. This speaks volumes about the levels in high school, college football, and what these kids are picking up by simply watching the game and taking the coaching in.
We have seen some good punting so far from these young kids. You're talking about coaching. Well, you can lift your knowledge and your team by clicking development and training at usafootball.com and see what coaches are talking about development and training at usafootball.com today. A big reason why a lot of these kids coming in at this age are, like you said, already this smart, this responsible on both sides of the football. Also a big reason why they're so skillful, and they have already the physical ability, they have the size, they've been able to put it to use. So first down and 10, looking for a quick pass. Almost able to break out of the first tackle was Keelan Smith. He'll be stopped well behind the line.
Yeah, nice tackle made in open space there. I believe that was Holden Zigmont. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
That is correct.
There we go. Yeah. Nice job there. Some of these players are just so athletic, and that's what you want to do. Just get the ball out to them, make a man miss, and see what they can do. But we've seen an excellent job by these corners to come up and tackle.
Yeah, and anywhere USA in their hometown, that kid gets the ball in space and he's gone. Coaches design it for him. But here, when everybody's good, it's interesting to see.
Tried a little bit of misdirection, but Freedom not falling for it. It's going to be another loss of about 4. Bring up 3rd and long.
No, we haven't seen Jaden Mathews get stuffed a lot, but they brought that corner blitz coming off that far left side, and it ended up slowing things enough where he tries to retreat back off to that left side. They were able to slow that down defensively, so now we've got a 3rd and a long situation.
So now the defenses are starting to buckle down. We didn't really see that too much in the first half.
I don't know if I buy that yet. We'll see what happens on 3rd down here.
That's 3rd down and 18 on the Freedom 47. Honor down by 5. Trying the roll out, able to cut back, looking deep. Not able to connect, will bring up 4th down.
That was incredible arm strength there. Again, not the best fundamentally because he had happy feet and was trying to avoid the rush, but just to be able to flick your wrist and throw it 30-plus yards, going, off balance and towards the sideline, that's amazing.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing. Just the effortless way he just flipped that ball out there. If it hadn't been completed, that would have been a jaw dropper. but a quick 3-and-out defensively for the Freedom. Nice job there. Now they'll get a chance to add to their lead. That was kind of a big drive for the Honor as they're trying to come back and tie this one up.
So how excited do you guys get at USA Football when you see a player like that comes in who has incredible arm strength? There might be a defensive lineman who has incredible strength, the physical ability, but not quite there in terms of the skill and the technique. How excited do you guys get about, can you imagine what this kid can do once we get him into the program a year or two?
Right. I mean, that's what makes this worth it. Listen, we all love football. That's why we're here. But when you see the light turn on for a kid who takes a coaching point and makes an adjustment and becomes that much better, that's the stuff that's great. I mean, listen, who in 5 years are any of these kids going to remember who wins this game? Probably not. But they might remember that the coach from Cal Poly told me to take my read like this, which is what we love to see.
Yep. Handoff again, breaking out to the outside, get some good blocks downfield, close to a first down. Favre having himself a good game.
Yeah, nice job there. A little bit of hesitation, and then he just explodes off that left side. Is there anybody that's come through USA Football that he reminds you of?
That's a great one. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, who's going to be in the Heisman race this year, kind of built the same way. Started for us a couple years ago. There's some comparisons there, but it's tough to label kids at this age.
Yeah.
He might grow 4 more inches. He might not grow any more at all. So it's kind of hard to label him, but there is some similarities.
Hand it to him again, able to squeeze through a few, and now has one man to beat. He's trying to get him off, and right there being dragged down, a touchdown-saving tackle, but a big run again by the running back out of Colorado.
Hey, that's good hustle, though. An outstanding run. Don't want to take anything away, but Chad Smith from my hometown of Plano, Texas, making that hustle play there to bring him down and save a touchdown.
I'm no coach. They pay people to do that. But if I'm Freedom, I'm just going to keep feeding the beast right now.
You might as well.
Right? A kid like that, I'm almost seeing it. I think you guys can too. The more he's getting the ball, I think the hungrier and nastier he's getting with his running style. So feed that beast.
So into Honor territory on the 37, 1st and 10, busted play. Brought down behind the line. Sprog was looking on the wrong side. Miscommunication between him and Favre.
Those are little things that do pop up. I mean, you see him pop up on Saturdays and Sundays in the fall, and those are guys who are all together all the time. So little things like that are expected. It's just how do you bounce back and how do you eliminate the frequency of those little things.
Some offensive subs coming in. Here comes Tommy Alfaro, number 10 in blue, checking into the game. One of the receivers we talked about. Joshua Terry also out there, number 2 on that far right at the top of your screen.
Joshua Terry, who loves barbecue food, we found out.
Yeah.
Second down and 15, going deep and caught. Down at the 10-yard line, a nice pitch and catch. Kyle Hall from Roseville, California, able to haul that one in.
And Kyle Hall won immediately, right off the line of scrimmage, and that was a zing of a ball. Beautiful throw. Kyle Hall, one of the receivers we haven't even mentioned yet. I mean, the depth at the receiver position is really outstanding.
We only take 6, and when all 6 are number 1s, it's a luxury for the quarterbacks here.
First down and 10 on the 11. Trying to extend their lead. Handoff to Favre. Has a big hole. It is in for the touchdown. Another score for Emmanuel Favre.
Yeah, he made that look easy. Just right up the middle, no wasted motion, and there you get a little bit of a touchdown celebration. Let the kids celebrate.
What I love about that run was one cut, and he got north and south. That's all. He saw the hole, got up in there, and he was in.
And we were pretty critical in that first game. There was a lot of, trying to bounce it out to the edge. And it's not to try and rip on any of these kids, but there's nothing more frustrating when you see, hey, there's room. Just don't waste any motion here. Just one cut, get up the field.
Right, because that's what works back home. They're the fastest and best kids, so they automatically go to the outside where they think they're going to win every race. And when they get here and they realize, I'm not the fastest homeboy, I mean, everyone here is quick. You got to get back to the fundamentals and back to playing football the way it is. Wait for that hole that you're supposed to run through, and then explode.
So when you go to these regional camps and you kind of start deciding who you're going to invite to these things, obviously you look at the skill set, but what are other things that maybe people might not know who want to go to these regionals, and what exactly are you guys looking for? What do they need to check off the list at these regionals that maybe doesn't get noticed a whole lot?
It's not just coach speak. We legitimately look at these kids from the second they arrive at our regional. How are they acting towards their parents? Do they look like they even want to be there? It's those little things, and we're not just blowing smoke. It is, we want to see, are you respectful to our staff? We want to see, are you respectful to your coaches? And then if you do have the ability on the field, that's the icing on the cake. We'll take that all day. But we want to make sure you're a decent human being first and foremost, because if you're not, I mean, you might get away with some stuff in youth football, but high school coaches across America aren't going to deal with it. Neither are college coaches. And obviously the NFL with Roger Goodell, they have that stuff running tight.
I was just wondering because, I mean, you said you get 6 wide receivers. They're all number ones. How do you – I mean, that's got to be almost an impossible job to try and sort that out and bring it up to, like, the top 6.
It's tough. You know, our regionals, it's a great experience. This year we had 18 of them. They're 2-day, non-contact, Saturday and Sunday deal, 2 sessions each day where the kids get over 15 hours of work in 2 days on field with college coaches. So, you know, we rely on our coaches a lot. They give the kid a grade. The position coach gives each athlete a grade. The scout we hire gives each athlete a grade. So is the head coach. So we get 3 grades and notes on every single kid. So there's a lot of stuff for us to go on. Plus we get their film. So we like to watch and make our decisions.
Third down and 4 now on their own 31. Down by 11. Honor looking for a deep pass. Instead is intercepted, able to stay in bounds and has a little bit of room down the sideline and is knocked out. Holden Zigmund with the interception.
And he made a nice play earlier. We brought him up, and that was one. He just was tracking that ball in the air, eyes on it all the way. Great job. Able to make a play on that one, and it sailed a little bit there on Fulgham.
Good feet, too, to stay in bounds. Good body control. Step to catch the ball, stop, and then turn and go upfield. Great job by him.
12 seconds left on the clock, and great field position on the Honor 27. The Freedom trying perhaps.
You asked about that 50 spot.
Yeah,
He's super close to that.
We got a chance.
Savage had an injured arm before, but it looks like he's okay.
Trying to make a few red jerseys miss and somehow able to get positive yardage out of that. Will bring us to the end of the third quarter, 39-28. Pops, we'd like to thank you again for joining us here in this third quarter. Always some cool insight, and really like the stuff about what all goes in when you go to the regional. How do you get to this point?
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. I mean, I'd love to talk to anybody about this program because of the way we believe in it and the way that we're trying to help these young men make a future for themselves. It's great stuff.
Yeah, look forward to having you. Game number 3, we got to talk a little more about that, maybe
Absolutely.
that Dell helmet technology in that third game.
Absolutely.
But again, thank you very much for joining us. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Fourth quarter of action here on Game On Sports.
We're our own community. I mean, we are who we are because of us.
We're going to change what we do in the field. We're going to change what we do on everything that we go into. Tonight we make a change. Sir, you understand me? Yes, sir.
here tonight.
Let's go! 1, 2, 3, Panthers!
Final 10 minutes of action between Freedom and Honor. 39-28. Freedom looking to extend their lead. That one almost intercepted, ricocheted off. Bring up 3rd down and 8 as we are joined back again by Eric Chiafalo.
Did I miss anything, boys?
He missed quite a bit. We had another long touchdown run from Jaden Mathews, a couple of turnovers here and there, some more points on the board, and, well, the great Al Pops just
God, does it get any better than Pops? I mean, I feel bad I have
thing.
to step in and try to follow that third quarter that he just put on display.
No, we're happy to have you back here, man. Great interview as always.
Yeah, nailed it. Nailed it. Shout out to Joshua Carey.
I was
Dude's a
wondering
stud.
who was a little more nervous there, you or Joshua Carey. My bet was you.
It was me. I was shaking in my jeans. I'll tell you what. And speaking
There you go.
there he is, Mr.
Yep.
Carey with a nice grab.
Well, I can see why. I mean, he's such a good athlete at such a young age. It can be intimidating going up and trying to interview him.
You should have seen that game face up close and personal, gentlemen. That thing, he was ready to rock. He didn't want to talk to me. All he wanted to do was go put the helmet back on, play some ball.
You think you could take him one-on-one?
You're
lined
in a
up as a
fight?
corner.
Oh, gotcha.
Not in a fight.
Not in a fight. I was thinking
Right.
fist fight. No, he would probably he would take me in a foot race. And do I have safety help over the top, or
I'll give you safety help over
if I
the
got
top.
safety help, I like my chances.
What if the safety's me?
The safety's you. I might as well just throw the gloves out and retire the cleats because I'm in trouble.
Going with a long-range field goal here.
It's the first one we've seen so
Kick
far
is
today.
up. It has the distance, and it is good.
Just get excited, Nick. That was a heck of a kick.
Split the uprights. Makes it 42-28.
Zachary Clark, nice job, big fella.
He's got a great first name.
Yeah. I was thinking the last name was pretty stellar, Clark.
I like Zachary too.
Clark Kent.
Okay.
Yeah. So 42-28. We are getting closer and closer
Yeah,
to
one
maybe
more,
a 50 up on the scoreboard.
A touchdown and a 2-point conversion away from getting that 50 burger.
I said the last team with the ball is gonna win the game. Right? I said that before the game. I'm sticking to my guns. I think the Honor has a comeback waiting in the wings right now. I think Mr. Payton's about to drop back and toss some dimes and march this thing 75 yards down the field for a touchdown.
Well, they've had a couple one-play touchdown drives.
Yeah, well, the speed on that offense is ridiculous. I mean, Jaden Mathews. Does it get any better?
2 75-yard rushing touchdowns for Mathews so far today. Speed is one thing, but Zach, I think you mentioned it in the third quarter, it's really more the vision that really puts him on a whole nother tier.
Wonder who's going to be the MVP for Freedom. You think about Kennedy?
It's just impossible.
Pops was saying, man, I'm glad that I don't have to pick that.
Goodness gracious. Emmanuel dominating on the ground.
Second down again, trying to go deep, one-on-one coverage, and again, having to play defense was Dickerson.
Yeah, pressure in the face there for Fulgham, and just hung that ball up in the air too much. Couldn't really step into the throw as much as he wanted to. And another good defensive play there by Freedom. This is you're starting to get into that make or break portion of the game. You're down 2 scores, backed up, 3rd and long. This is where likely you need your quarterback to step up and make a play
and
here.
Peyton Fulgham's, tried to just whip a couple down the field. They just haven't been really super accurate balls, but he also hasn't had anybody open.
3rd down and 10, their own 25. Down 42-28. Fulgham steps back, has a little bit of time, and now has some space, trying to get to that first down marker. Lost the football. It's down on the ground, still not picked up. It's battled for right around the 42-yard line. We'll see who comes up with it. Looked like initially Freedom was able to come up with the loose football, but stayed on the ground.
It's blue ball. How have you not made the call
we
yet?
have not seen.
How have you not made the call yet?
There has not been an official ruling.
Well,
at least that I've
the
seen.
defense is staying on the field, but
yeah.
I mean, am I mistaken? It looked like Tyler Yeager had the ball at the bottom of the pile.
Looked like Yeager did, but I think the ref made an early judgment call, said it was red ball, and he's sticking to his guns.
I was about to say, I didn't see anything after they sorted out the pile. So Honor getting a bit of a break, but this time we'll lose 2 yards.
Really, really nice open field tackle there.
It's Yeager again.
Starting to see more linebackers rock that 90 number. Are you a fan?
I'm certainly a fan if they're playing that, stand-up outside linebacker spot. I don't mind that at all.
What does Mr. Linebacker think of them
the way
starting
that,
to wear 90?
The way that Eric asked it, I think he's not a fan.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about it, but when the dude's a baller,
you can do whatever you want, right?
Yeah, and Nelson is an absolute baller.
That's a nice play there by Dickerson.
You were also a linebacker that wore the 30 number, if I'm not mistaken.
I did, yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of that.
I rocked the Jeff Heath 38, and in honor of him, I missed a bunch of tackles.
Why did you go with the 38? Was there like a favorite player growing up, or?
No, as a matter of fact, they just handed me a jersey one day and said, there's your number.
Fair enough.
And then every year after that, I was like, all right, I'll just stick with it.
No, that's fair.
Make it my own.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm not sure if there's any 38s out there on the field today, but we are simpatico if there is any.
There's not.
I don't see any 38s.
No 38s.
You are
a couple of 37s.
Yeah. Like I said, I made that number my own.
Now the legal substitution be another penalty against Honor.
Last thing you want right now, you're the Honor. You finally got some momentum. You're moving the ball down the field nicely. You luck out by not getting the fumble turned over. And now you get behind the sticks, 1st and 15. Just push that much more pressure on you.
On the Freedom 49. Fulgham back. Again, going with that quick pass to the side. Big hit right around the 40. Picks up about 10.
Morgan Simmons, the Kansas City kid, goodness gracious. He has been a man amongst boys today. And you look at the effort there, retracing his steps. He starts as a pass rusher. He ends up down the field with the safeties making tackles.
And a good play by Chris Johnson to pick up a nice chunk on a 1st and 15 play. But no doubt, I mean, Simmons just hustling from that defensive tackle spot and just blowing him up from behind. I mean, that dude has made some splash plays if I've seen some
He's
today.
shown off the strength. We see the size, but the speed and the tenacity, the high motor, you
there
gotta
you go.
love it.
Fulgham going deep, has a man open, is caught to the 10-5. Fighting for that. Pylons brought out at the 2. Another impressive play by Dickinson.
There is a flag back, and it might be a roughing the passer.
All right, good. We need the comeback to stay
That was
true
a beautiful
here.
ball by Fulgham, and an excellent job on the opposite end of it by J.C. Dickerson, who we've really been waiting. A highly touted player. We've been waiting a highly touted player coming into this one to make a big impact play, and he certainly did there. And it is indeed roughing the passer. It's not going to be a touchdown. I don't know.
at the start of that play.
It'll just make that a touchdown.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Oh, roughing is a touchdown.
Yeah. No, I mean, at the start of that play, I was thinking they had the back wide open in the flats, and I thought, hey, hit your guy, go get 15. And Fulgham said, no, sir, I'm going for the gusto. And he threw a beautiful ball to Dickerson right there on the back shoulder, and now they're in prime position to cut this to a one-score game.
And they have Mathews back out there. 2 rushing touchdowns for him so far.
See if they try to get Mathews out there to the edge.
Trips on the top part of your screen. They will indeed try and get him out to the edge. It was a high snap, though, and was almost doomed from the beginning.
Yeah,
It's
really
back down to
was.
the 7.
Really
With the speed out there, any kind of little bead where all of a sudden the defense now has the ability to read where the play's going, and that's exactly what happened there. You're in a little bit of trouble.
The penetration by the Freedom Front's been great all afternoon, but that play right there really showed it. I mean, they had guys all the way around the ball.
So backed up to the 8-yard line, 2nd and goal. Down by 2 scores. Honor with 5:50 to go, all 3 timeouts. Another high snap. Fulgham steps back. A slant route is bobbled and knocked away. Bring up third down.
Really nice job there, velocity-wise, from Fulgham. It was a little bit behind the receiver, but listen, when you're in the red zone, these windows are tight, and he wedged it in there pretty nicely.
I thought it was right on him.
Really nice job there by the defender.
That was a beautiful ball, I thought, by Fulgham.
Laser.
Right where it needed to be. But you're right. I mean, a good job by the DB coming from behind, getting a hand in there to break it up.
These windows get smaller and smaller. When you get into that red zone, that accuracy becomes a huge highlight. Uh-oh.
Third and
False
goal.
Start.
It will be a false start, so they'll be backed up again. Back to about the 13-yard line. Third down and goal.
Yeah, it's the second or third time they've shot themselves in the foot this drive, just these pre-snap penalties. And when we've talked about it, I mean, these guys, like we said, they've been playing for 4 days together. New offense, the cadence with the quarterback. They're rotating quarterbacks in and out. I mean, it can be difficult. Fortunately, it's not crazy loud in here, but still, nonetheless, they've had a handful of false starts and a couple on this drive that have made it tougher on them. And now it's third and about 14 heading into the goal line.
Tried to get it out
that
to
was
Mathews.
A touchdown if he had caught it.
Man, that play design worked out beautifully. There was nobody out there. He would have walked into the end zone, and with his speed, there's no doubt about it that would have been a touchdown.
And this is something that'll go unnoticed, but Tyler Hennessy, 11, who's right on your screen right now, the receiver, made an excellent in and out route. He would have been open for a touchdown in the corner as well.
So here we go, 4th and 13, or 4th and goal rather, from the 13-yard line. You have to think they got to convert here. Another flag.
Jeez.
Another false start. So it'll be backed up to the 18. USA Football's 2019 National Conference with speaker tracks for high school and youth football coaches delivers insight to lift your program. Hear college and NFL coaches, leaders in athletic health, and other experts in Orlando from February 22nd to 24th. Early bid rates are open at usafootball.com. Again, usafootball.com. Early bid rates for the 2019 National Conference, February 22nd to 24th from Orlando, Florida. 5:33 left, 2-score game. Honor backed up to their 18-yard line, trying to punch it in and make it a one-possession game. I know Eric would like to see that. He wants to keep that comeback streak going, or at least that prediction.
I'm trying to keep the prediction of the team with the ball last wins the game. And
I like that matchup with Hennessy right now. On the bottom of your screen here, he's got that
one-on-one.
Far side of the field, one-on-one, a lot of green.
that
Now they're shading his safety
cheating.
over the top.
They know Hennessy's the guy.
Here we go. Is being flushed out as Fulgham, and he's brought down.
Oh, who do you think it is, Eric?
Golly, Mr. Morgan Simmons. I need to go shake that man's hand after this game. I think we're going to be seeing him on Saturdays, and who knows, maybe we'll see him on Sundays.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, with the trajectory that these USA football kids go to, we've mentioned it several times, 6 of the first 60 picks in the NFL draft from USA football, and they're hoping to maybe have 3 of the top 10 this upcoming draft. Again, I think we can add Morgan Simmons' name into the MVP conversation for this one.
I will not disagree with you at all. That dude's been all over the place. Like I said, a man amongst boys.
Doesn't he just seem already at this age like the perfect candidate for the Nick Saban factory down in Tuscaloosa?
Oh, wow.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, he'd be the best defensive player on my high school team.
I'm sure the Missouri Tigers would like to get their hands on that local kid, keep him right there in Kansas City, but
and Missouri's turned out some good linemen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Here's
Sheldon
a big
Richardson.
run again.
Mama.
Favre with one man to beat. They're not going to catch him, and it's a touchdown.
Sorry, Morgan. The MVP race is over. Holy
Favi
smokes.
just shut the door and said, that MVP chain is mine, sir.
And my prediction of the last team with the ball will win the game is unfortunately
That's not necessarily untrue if the Freedom end up with the ball.
That's true, yeah.
Well, that's very little victory formation.
Hey, there's still 5:16 left. Anything can happen. But right
Yeah.
now, a 20-point lead you'd think would be a little bit crazy.
Yeah. Anything's possible.
Well, Favre, like you heard, had a tremendous regional in Denver. Happy to see what they brought him in, and we're very excited to see what he could do, and he's been impressive. Number 20, Emmanuel Favre. Like you said, you got to think he made a very strong case on just that last run to get that MVP chain.
What a running back showdown today between Favre and between Jaden Mathews. We're witnessing two stud running backs in a sport where a lot of the shine is starting to go to those receivers, and it's, hey, can you catch the ball out of the backfield? These two backs have shown they can do that. They can also be the grind it out between the tackles, stud running backs, and go win you a football game. Both those guys have been absolute monsters today.
It's been a lot of fun to watch. USA First Down introduces kids and parents to the game of football in a fun, free, and friendly format. Kids get active and learn the basics like running, jumping, passing, and catching through hundreds of events across the country hosted by USA Football and community organizations. Kids will experience football for the first time. First Down brings football to everyone and starts them on the player pathway in the football development model. Learn more at usafootball.com/firstdown. It's an impressive run there. Picks up about 7.
I don't know if that was an intentional direct snap to Mathews or if the center just got a little confused on who the quarterback was, but made a little something out of nothing there, Mr. Mathews, once again.
Made the most of it. Gain of 7 brings up second.
Wildcat?
Maybe.
Yeah, a little wildcat with the quarterback still in the backfield right there. I'm into it.
We're trying to set a new style of offense here.
Yeah.
This would be the time to do it with the next generation of football players having trouble with the snap.
Yeah, Liljedahl couldn't get a grip on that one.
And he seems like he's a little bit frustrated. Now we'll have a
Understandably.
third down and 10 after a second down and 3 scenario there for the Honor.
Yeah, and I think ultimately for the Honor, obviously Freedom have been dominant today on both sides of the ball, but the Honors really shot themselves in the foot with the pre-snap penalties, with some of the fumbles and some of the things like that, the turnovers, where you just, it's hard to win football games, especially when you're going up against guys on the other side of the field that are just as good, if not better. You'd like to play a cleaner game if you're the Honor.
3rd and 10, they're going with the reverse. Dickerson has a little bit of room and has some blocks up past the first down marker and is still on his feet to around the 40-yard line, so a little bit of trickery.
He just does not want to go down.
Golly. He's not the biggest guy on the field. He might be the fastest, but the dude is tough as nails.
Yes, he is. And for a moment, I thought he was about to, when he took that double reverse, stay back there and throw the football.
I've been waiting for that all game. We saw a lot of reverses, double reverses in the last game. We've seen a few on this one. I'm waiting for that Philly special when one of these quarterbacks peels out and goes and gets him one.
Maybe we'll get that from the high school game coming up a little bit later, scheduled for a 3 o'clock start.
That's going to be, as fun as this one has been, that one's got a lot to live up to, but I think we're in for a treat.
Going deep and is caught.
Oh, what a ball.
Liljedahl
At the 30-yard line, Isaiah Green, another big catch.
He couldn't have run down the field and handed that to Green any better.
So true. What a great ball right there from Liljedahl. We've seen it out of Fulgham. Now we get to see it out of number 17. Those guys got the arm strength. You give them a little bit of time, and they can really sling that thing.
Be too many men on the field. Get about 5 yards on that quick pass.
Well, I'm really glad that I picked up Jaden Mathews in my USA Middle School Series fantasy game this morning.
Yeah, that was a really clutch move by you. I thought about it, and gosh, I really swung and missed there.
But you ended up with Favi, though, so you're good.
Yeah, Favi was pretty good nab by me. Of course, I had Josh Joshua Carey as well. He's my boy.
Oh, he's your guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Had to do that. Shout out to Lincoln, California.
I landed Brady Kennedy, and he had a dominant first half, and
he was well on his way to an MVP honor in that first half. If we gave out first half MVPs, I think Kennedy might have taken it home.
You never know. How many touchdowns Favi have? 2 or 3?
17?
No, who's
I think
counting?
2.
Gotcha. He's got 2.
All right.
Kennedy's got 2.
Yeah, but Favi's just all game long. I mean, he's
Favi's been great.
Yep. First down and 5, going deep to the end zone, and is caught by Dickerson.
Wow.
Beautiful job, and that was a heck of a throw. Just enough air under it.
Yep. Perfect
Brilliant
placement.
job.
The speedster Dickerson gets him one. He deserves it. That dude's been really, really tough today. Fighting for the extra yard every time. Not trying to get out of bounds. Wants to put that shoulder into you. Just a classic football player. And he gets himself a touchdown. Yeah, really big time fourth quarter out of him.
Bit of trouble with the snap, but it's a 25-yard pitch and catch for the touchdown. It's Dickerson. And the kick is right down the middle, 49-35, 2:51 to go. Still 3 timeouts left for Honor.
What do you think? Can we get an onside kick here? Can we figure something out, or just going to go ahead and give it right back to him? All right, Honor D. Honor D, it's on you.
Well, we've gotten an early peek at who will be the game MVPs. We're not going to spoil it yet, but...
Oh, that's a good tease, though. I like that.
We know who they are.
Perhaps do some wonder for your fantasy teams.
Yeah, I think the MVP gets an additional 10 points, if I'm not wrong. So, nice bonus there.
We're making our own league, so I guess we can do whatever we want.
We get to dictate the rules.
2:51 left. Freedom trying to run out the clock, but got hit hard.
My Lord.
Patrick
Odunga from Houston, Texas.
What a stud. He saw Morgan Simmons out here getting after it all game. He said, you know what?
Well, that was a stand-up blitz from him, too, and he just was untouched and just swallowed Kyle Hall. Oh, who was that? The poor guy on, was it Wheatley? Or who's playing quarterback there? Was it Savage out there?
Savage.
I think so.
Yeah, maybe doing a little wildcat action with Savage just to try to run the clock out. He took a shot.
The sport's best work with USA Football to teach the latest in blocking and tackling. Learn, teach, and perform USA Football's contact and tackling systems for smarter and stronger play. Visit footballdevelopment.com. That's footballdevelopment.com. So 2nd down and 16. Honor uses their first timeout. Still down 2 scores, but the sack right there gives a little bit of new life into this Honors defense. And it looks like it is Michael Wheat back out in quarterback.
2:32 to go, and you got Favi out there. Might as well keep just pounding the rock.
Well, it's worked for him so far, trying to run out the clock. You want to give the football to number 20. Good things tend to happen. It's hard to believe you look at number 20 as technically, well, he's born in 2005, would possibly still have another year to develop. Instead, we'll be going up to high school. We'll be jumping up in the ranks next year. And indeed, they will hand it off to him. fights forward for a few yards, bring up 3rd down and 14. Be a second timeout called by Honor.
We were talking with Al Pops about, who does Favi somewhat remind him of, and, he said, obviously there's a lot that can change. These kids still have a lot of time to develop, but you dropped the name Jonathan Taylor, who's clearly a Heisman Trophy candidate coming into this year that came through the USA football program. With the hair and the number, Philip Lindsay comes to mind a little bit. A bigger back than Lindsay, certainly. But that's another player who went undrafted and had a brilliant year. I want to say might have been 3rd in the NFL in rushing this past season. But he has been absolutely
Pro Bowl
brilliant.
season.
And we don't know how many yards yet, but according to Dan Dole from USA Football, Favi has set a rushing record with his performance today here in the middle school bowl game series of USA Football.
Still got a little bit of time, too, to perhaps get a few more yards. Be 3rd down and 14, though, 2:36 to go.
What a jam, boys.
1 timeout left for Honor. 2 left for Freedom. Up by 2 scores. So close, just 1 point away from getting a 50 up on the scoreboard today. And it's going to be a toss, and he got hit hard as he let it go.
I love it out of Freedom. Still putting the pedal to the metal. We're out here trying to put up as many points as we can.
Well, we want that 50 spot. I've been eyeing it all day.
Yeah, that would have been really good for my fantasy team if he could have connected on that.
Now it's a 4th and 14, and on to punt it away will be Zachary Clark.
Hey, credit to the Honor. They did what they needed to do, get the stop in relatively quick fashion.
Able to still have 1 timeout left with that incompletion.
So there are no kickoffs in this game. I doubt you can have an onside kick.
Not sure the overtime rules.
I'm hoping for it.
It would be nice, a little free football.
Well, they got good field position at their own 47-yard line, 2:27 and a timeout. They've been able to strike quick, especially when you have Mathews in at running back.
Well, and J.C. Dickerson, who's been the highlight reel so far of this 4th quarter.
And looks like Lilliadall back in there at the quarterback position. He's been an absolute specie man for the last 5 minutes.
Yes, he has. A specie man at the quarterback position.
He has some time. We'll get it out to Mathews. A good connection there past midfield. Trying to get out of bounds. Will get knocked down at the 45-yard line.
You got hurry up offense. Let's get that tempo going, boys.
You wonder how accustomed these guys are to running this sort of NASCAR offense here. Not going to huddle up. Only been together for just over 72 hours.
Standing back again. Had him in open by about a step was Hennessy, but overthrew him.
Yeah, to rush the ball just a little bit. It was a good job by Mathews coming over in support there, trying to pick up the rusher and pass pro, but that's a tough task for him against the load of a defensive lineman.
3rd and 2, just under 2 minutes left. Honor trying to make it a 1-possession ball game. Get it out to Mathews, makes a man miss, and then they'll say his knee was down just shy. Be 4th down and 2. And Honor will use their last timeout. Game number 3 scheduled for a 3 o'clock start. It's U15 Stripes versus U15 Stars. Some exciting stuff in that game as well. Talk about the Dell Insight helmets. Be the first time that USA Football will be using it at this age group, and we use it a lot at some of the higher high school levels. Be exciting to see. Maybe get a little more insight from Pops coming up in that game. But again, that's slated for a 3 o'clock start here on Game On Sports. The final of 3 in the 2019 Texas Classic, part of the Middle School Bowl Game Series. USA football. 4th and 2 on the 45-yard line. Honor trying to bring it to within 1 score. Lilydall steps back, has a man open, and is just over his intended receiver. And Chris Johnson will be a turnover.
Yeah, the pressure there once again from none other than Morgan Simmons there from the defensive line for Freedom. And it just got Lilydall off his spot and trying to move to the left, throw back a little bit right. That's just a tough ball. He had the open receiver there, but trying to connect on that, keeping that ball down is a tough ask.
Yeah, no doubt. Just a little bit high.
Make sure to stay tuned. After the conclusion of this game, we'll have the presentation of the MVP chains. You know, a lot of players to choose from.
Oh, yeah. This has been a good one.
Both on the defensive and offensive side for both of these teams. They'll take a knee.
Victory formation, boys. Always a good thing when you're in victory formation.
Yeah, Wyatt Sprag.
Yes.
Taking a knee, letting that clock run. No timeouts left for the Honors, so they cannot stop the clock. And it looks like the Freedom, who will have the ball last, will be on their way to a 49-35 win. So, Eric, your crystal ball prediction of the team that has the ball last will win. Yeah, I mean, I can't say that it was inaccurate.
I'm not going to say I'm Nostradamus, but listen, the facts are the facts.
Not sure if exactly that's what he meant necessarily.
Nick.
But we will give. I'll give it to you. I mean, you're right. He is right.
You can say I'm not going to give that to you.
No, but Nick knows. Nick knows that I saw this coming from
I mean,
a
he
mile
never.
away. That's why you don't specify.
He never made any specific claim of maybe the team to score last.
We got a big umbrella here. We got a big strike zone.
He's hit it, I guess, down the middle.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
The way he described it, yes, he did.
I mean, I'd say, it's one of those borderline calls.
And the final knee will end it. 49-35, Freedom. The team in blue will walk out with the victory. And some impressive play on both teams. And we will stay tuned for the presentation of the MVP trophies. Again, congratulations to Favi, breaking the rushing record in a single game in the middle school bowl series. Congratulations to number 20 out of Fountain, Colorado. So 2 out of the 3 games knocked out this afternoon. Next game scheduled for the 3 o'clock start. The U15 Stars versus Stripes.
Can't wait to see who the MVPs are in this one. I think the running backs have a good chance. Obviously, you had in the first half a great performance from Brady Kennedy on the Freedom side. J.C. Dickerson was very, very good in that fourth quarter.
Just so many to choose from. It's a tough job to have the person to pick out. There he is, Aaron Ingram. We'll hand him out. And Mathews indeed will grab the MVP for honor. And the running back to set the single-game rushing record, Emmanuel Favre, will win it. So, Zach, you're exactly right. The 2 running backs will get the MVP awards.
Well, those 2 guys have a very, very bright future. Unbelievable performances from both of them today.
Well, congratulations to those 2. An impressive game by Mathews, 2 75-yard rushing touchdowns, and then, of course, Favre breaking single game rushing record. Again, the final score, Freedom 49, Honor 35. We'll take a quick break, but we'll be back soon enough for the third and final game of the 2019 Texas Classic. Thank you for tuning in, and stay with us here on Game On Sports for game number 3 of the USA Football Middle School Bowl Game Series.